4 in 10 people believe in ghosts. Over a third of people believe intelligent life exists outside of Earth. 43% of people believe demons exist. There are unexplained phenomena happening daily around the globe, and we are here to talk about it. Your portal into UFOs, paranormal, cryptids, the supernatural, the mysterious, the unknown. I see you. This is Beyond the Radar, and this is your host, humanoid Tom Conway.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another wonderful episode of Beyond the Radar, your paranormal news program. Coming to you live from Philadelphia here, outside of Philadelphia, actually in Westchester, Pennsylvania. We are pleased to be with you on this Friday night, chilly Friday night. We're going to dive into some interesting topics. Today, we're going to do the show a little different as a little homage to some of the, unsolved mysteries and things like that of the past, where I have some produced content that I made for everybody. And we're going to dive into the Stargate Project today here on Beyond the Radar. And this is the direction I think I want to take Beyond the Radar. You know what I mean? In, going forward is I want to open it up to anybody. My email is, tcalway87@gmail.com. You can email me at oracletalkradionetwork@gmail.com or simply tom@oracletalkradionetwork.com. Feel free to just send me what you want to have a show about. I'll deep dive anything and everything and bring it to you in a manner that is, conducive to you. So I think that's how I'm going to take the show here in the new year, how we're going to move ahead with this. And the first thing is, I love declassified documents. Everybody knows that. You guys been hearing me long enough talking about declassified documents. I've become a master, I guess, right, with FOIA. So I'm going to bring you all the declassified documents. If you want to know something, reach out to me, submit it to the show right on our wall, right? Post something to our page, whatever you would like. We're here for you at the Oracle Talk Radio Network. Joe, good to see you, man. Happy Friday. Hopefully you're off, hopefully you're off. You don't have to work the rest of the weekend. Good to see you, man. Thank you for always showing up. And Joe, you're going to love this episode. I know you will. Talking about the Stargate Project. So for everybody who doesn't know or may not, remember right away, the Stargate Project is a secret U.S. military unit. There you go. Yeah, good. You're home, buddy. Awesome, man. Kick it up. It's a U.S. Army unit established in 1978 in Fort Meade, Maryland, to investigate the potential for psychic phenomena and whether it could aid military and intelligence applications. So the origins and purpose, it was to explore the psychic abilities such as remote viewing. What's going on, Ian? Good to see you, man. Hopefully, hope everything's good down there. Hopefully you guys don't have to work that Saturday, man. Hopefully you can take off. So what the Stargate Project initially wanted to do was explore the use of psychic abilities, and to further define that, it was like remote viewing, telepathy, precognition, for intelligence gathering and military operations. And the broader interest of the parapsychology and study of it was honestly for the Cold War. Keep in mind, 1978, this Cold War is still going to last another 12 years or so, 13 years. So, they wanted to see if there was any aid. This comes on the back end of the super soldier, I almost said super soldier, the super soldier program that was in the 60s and early 70s that wanted to make it wanted, when you think of super soldier for the U.S. Army, for the military and all of that kind of stuff, you probably think, buff dude. I want to have a guy who can run 20 miles an hour, like an Olympic sprinter, but be 6'5" and 310 pounds and stuff like that, right? That's probably what you're going to think of. It's actually not. What they did was they tested soldiers out with a ton of hallucinogens, let's just say acid, LSD, or the precursors before those drugs were out there, to see if they could help in Vietnam, especially, uh, if you want to call it that, but talk to the forest. Really talk to the forest and see, where are enemies, where are the setups, where are the traps, where are, snipers, where is all that kind of stuff. The part that fascinates me is you're never going to get a straight answer from the government. Let's just put that out there right now, right? You're never going to get a straight answer from the government. So you have to look at what they do. You have to look at the actions, not what they say. If you're practicing a super soldier program to see if people can feel the forest, can be in tune, can sense where there's danger, sense where there's something that's not right coming. When you have that, um, and then you follow it up with this, there leads me to believe that I don't care what they say, I don't care what the program was expanded, there's something there. You don't go from one project to another if it's a complete and utter failure. So that's the between the lines thing. And but believe me, that Super Soldier program, there's a lot of programs on it on the History Channel. Feel free to check your favorite, whatever. I'm sure there's multiple ones out there, but um, individuals, have claimed to found snipers in trees by listening to the forest, feeling which area of the forest something was out of place, like a human with military garb. You're going to be out of place. Where they could remote view where weapons caches were, where they could remote view areas and given just coordinates. Um, that's a little spoiler for later because I have a FOIA interview, guys. I have a FOIA interview that I'm going to play later on in the episode that talks about remote viewing 1 million years BC in Mars and talking about what happened on that planet. I had to FOIA this document. It's been around. You might be able to find it. But there is something to it. They had to actually hide this for many, many years from people. So getting back to the Cold War in the Soviet Union, they were doing similar research with intelligence gathering and telepathy and things like that. So I don't know, to be honest with you, I don't know what came first. I don't know, chicken or the egg. I don't know if they had it first and we copied them. We had it first. They copied us. I'm not sure. But the primary focus of Stargate was remote viewing, where individuals attempted to perceive distant or unseen targets. And then they underwent various training programs to enhance their psychic abilities. So that's where the drugs come in. That's where a lot of methods that probably are not allowed to be used right now are coming from. The notable figures, you probably heard these names before. Ingo Swann, who was a prominent psychic. Pat Price, a remote viewer who has the, I guess, most accurate detailed descriptions of the Soviet Union during that time. Hal Puthoff and Russell Targ are physicists at the Stanford Research Institute who conducted these experiments. So not only was this hey, Michael, good to see you. Biometrics, exactly. Not only was this, parapsychology and everything like that, but it was actually tested in Stanford by research physicians. And a number of these reports became declassified at the turn of the millennia. Many of these experiments have happened in the 1960s and such like that. But, it remains skeptical because they're going to say they shut it down and we couldn't find any use for it. But many, many programs that have come later have followed on the back of the Stargate Project. And you can say, it was terminated in 1995, right? It was terminated in 1995. However, this started well in the 70s. So you can't call something a failure when you continue to spend money on it for 20 plus years. It just doesn't happen. So for everybody who might have needed a little refresher on the Stargate Project, there was that. We're going to get more in depth with it. I produced a program here that is going to talk about the project more in depth, and then we'll discuss some of the things afterwards. So here's a little video I made, and everyone watch and enjoy.
For decades, whispers of a secret government program captivated the public imagination. These whispers were not just idle gossip, but were fueled by occasional leaks and mysterious hints dropped by insiders. The intrigue surrounding this program was palpable, and it seemed to promise revelations that could change our understanding of reality itself. This program explored the uncharted territories of the human mind. It delved into areas that science had barely begun to touch, probing the depths of human consciousness and the potential for extraordinary mental capabilities. The researchers involved were pioneers, venturing into the unknown with a mix of skepticism and hope. It was called the Stargate Project. This name, evocative of science fiction, hinted at the ambitious and otherworldly nature of the research. The project aimed to unlock doors to dimensions of the mind that had previously been the domain of mystics and visionaries. Shrouded in secrecy, Stargate delved into the world of psychic phenomena. The project sought to understand and harness abilities such as remote viewing, telepathy, and precognition. These were not just parlor tricks, but were considered potential tools for intelligence and national security. Its purpose to harness extraordinary abilities for national security. The military and intelligence agencies saw the potential for these abilities to provide a strategic advantage, whether in espionage, warfare, or counterterrorism. The stakes were high and the possibilities seemed endless. The program's existence was officially denied for years. Despite the occasional rumor or leak, the government maintained a tight lid on the project. Documents were classified and those involved were sworn to secrecy, creating an aura of mystery and speculation. Then, in the late 20th century, the truth began to emerge. Declassified documents and whistleblower testimonies started to paint a picture of what had been going on behind closed doors. The revelations were both fascinating and controversial, sparking debates in scientific and public circles. Declassified documents revealed a world of remote viewers and psychic spies. These individuals were trained to use their minds to gather intelligence, often with startling accuracy. The stories of their missions and successes were the stuff of legend, blurring the line between reality and fiction. These individuals attempted to penetrate the most guarded secrets of foreign powers. They were tasked with seeing beyond the physical, using their minds as tools to access information that was otherwise unattainable. Their work was both revered and ridiculed, a testament to the controversial nature of the project. The Stargate Project remains a captivating enigma. Even today it continues to inspire curiosity and debate. Was it a genuine scientific endeavor or a wild goose chase? The truth may lie somewhere in between, a blend of groundbreaking research and overambitious dreams. It is a testament to the enduring human fascination with the unknown. The project reflects our innate desire to push boundaries and explore the limits of what is possible. It reminds us that the human mind is a frontier still largely unexplored. It raises profound questions about the potential of the human mind. What are we truly capable of? Are there abilities within us that we have yet to discover? The Stargate Project challenges us to rethink our understanding of human potential, and it challenges our understanding of the world around us. The implications of the project extend beyond the realm of science, touching on philosophy, spirituality, and the nature of reality itself. It invites us to consider the possibility that there is more to the world than meets the eye. Was Stargate a foray into a genuine realm of untapped potential, or was it a misguided pursuit of an impossible dream? The answers are not clear-cut, and the debate continues to this day. What is certain is that the project has left an indelible mark on our collective imagination, or was it a misguided pursuit of an impossible dream? The questions it raises are as relevant now as they were then. The legacy of Stargate is one of curiosity, ambition, and the relentless pursuit of knowledge, no matter how elusive. The answers, like the phenomena it investigated, are complex and elusive. The Stargate Project remains a symbol of the quest to understand the unknown, a journey that continues to captivate and challenge us. The seeds of the Stargate Project were sown during the Cold War. The United States and the Soviet Union were locked in a global struggle for dominance. Both superpowers explored unconventional avenues of warfare. This included the potential of psychic espionage. Rumors of Soviet mind control experiments alarmed US intelligence agencies. They feared falling behind in this uncharted arms race. In response, the US government initiated its own foray into the world of parapsychology. Early research was exploratory. It lacked a centralized program. Independent researchers, often funded through obscure channels, conducted experiments. They explored phenomena like extrasensory perception and telekinesis. The results were often inconclusive, but tantalizing hints of genuine abilities kept the government's interest alive. The stage was set for a more focused and secretive effort to harness the power of the human mind. In the 1970s, the Stargate Project emerged as a consolidated effort to explore psychic phenomena for intelligence gathering. The Cold War era was a time of intense rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union, and both sides were eager to gain any possible advantage. Headquartered at Fort Meade, Maryland, the project brought together a diverse team of researchers, intelligence analysts, and individuals claiming psychic abilities. These individuals ranged from scientists with advanced degrees to self-proclaimed psychics who believed they could tap into hidden powers of the mind. Their mission was clear: to determine if psychic phenomena were real, and if so, to weaponize them for the benefit of national security. The stakes were high and the potential rewards were enormous. The primary focus of Stargate was remote viewing. This technique was believed to allow individuals to see events, objects, or locations that were far away or otherwise hidden from physical view. This is the purported ability to perceive distant or hidden locations using only the power of the mind. Practitioners would enter a meditative state, attempting to visualize the target location in vivid detail. Imagine a psychic spy sitting in a secure facility, able to describe the layout of a secret enemy base thousands of miles away. This concept was both thrilling and controversial, sparking debates within the intelligence community. The potential applications for intelligence gathering were obvious and enticing. If successful, remote viewing could provide insights that were impossible to obtain through traditional espionage methods. Stargate researchers also investigated other psychic phenomena, including telepathy, clairvoyance, and precognition. Each of these abilities, if proven real, could revolutionize the field of intelligence. The hope was to develop a reliable method for gathering intelligence that bypassed traditional methods of espionage. The dream was to create a new frontier in intelligence, one that leveraged the untapped potential of the human mind. Gap 3S. The Stargate Project was not just about exploring psychic phenomena, it was also about understanding the science behind these abilities. Researchers delved into the realms of quantum physics and neuroscience to find explanations. They hypothesized that quantum entanglement could be a mechanism for telepathy and remote viewing. Neuroscientists studied brainwave patterns of individuals claiming psychic abilities, looking for anomalies. These scientific investigations aim to bridge the gap between the mystical and the empirical. While many questions remain unanswered, the pursuit of scientific understanding continues to this day. Gap 3S. The Stargate Project attracted a diverse group of individuals, each contributing their unique skills and perspectives. One of the most notable figures was Ingo Swann, a talented artist and psychic who played a crucial role in developing remote viewing techniques. Another key figure was Pat Price, a former police officer whose remote viewing sessions produced remarkably accurate results. Dr. Hal Puthoff and Russell Targ, physicists at the Stanford Research Institute, were instrumental in conducting and documenting many of the experiments. Their work provided a scientific framework for understanding psychic phenomena. These individuals, along with many others, left an indelible mark on the Stargate Project and the field of parapsychology. Gap 3S. The Stargate Project was not without its controversies and skeptics. Critics argued that the results of psychic experiments were often inconsistent and lacked scientific rigor. They pointed to the lack of reproducibility and the potential for fraud or sensory leakage. Some skeptics believed that the project was a waste of government resources, driven by a fascination with the paranormal rather than empirical evidence. Despite these criticisms, proponents of the Stargate Project argued that the potential benefits of psychic phenomena warranted further investigation. The debate between believers and skeptics continues to this day, highlighting the complex and contentious nature of the field. Gap 3S. The Stargate Project officially ended in 1995, but its legacy lives on. The declassified documents and research findings continue to inspire curiosity and debate. The project has become a cultural touchstone referenced in books, movies, and television shows. It has also influenced ongoing research in the field of parapsychology. While the scientific community remains divided on the validity of psychic phenomena, the Stargate Project serves as a reminder of the human desire to explore the unknown. It challenges us to keep an open mind and to continue seeking answers to the mysteries of the human mind. The Stargate Project's experiments were as varied as the phenomena they investigated. This top-secret program, initiated by the US government, delved into the mysterious realms of psychic abilities, hoping to uncover hidden potentials of the human mind. Remote viewing sessions often involved a viewer and a monitor. The viewer, often someone believed to possess psychic abilities, would attempt to perceive information about a distant or unseen target. The monitor would provide the viewer with a target, which could be a location, person, or object. This target was usually unknown to the viewer to ensure the integrity of the experiment. The viewer would then attempt to describe or draw what they perceived at the target location. These descriptions could range from detailed sketches to verbal accounts of what they sensed. These sessions were often conducted under carefully controlled conditions. Researchers meticulously designed the environment to minimize any external influences that could affect the results. Researchers sought to eliminate any possibility of sensory leakage or fraud. This meant implementing rigorous protocols and security measures to ensure the authenticity of the data collected. While remote viewing was the cornerstone of the Stargate Project, researchers also explored other intriguing avenues of psychic phenomena. They were keen to understand the full spectrum of human psychic potential. Telepathy experiments tested whether individuals could communicate thoughts directly to one another without any physical means of communication. These experiments often involved pairs of participants attempting to transmit and receive specific thoughts or images. Clairvoyance experiments investigated the ability to gain information about an object, person, or location through extrasensory means. Participants would try to describe hidden objects or distant scenes without any prior knowledge. Precognition experiments explored the possibility of seeing into the future. Researchers were particularly interested in whether individuals could predict events that had not yet occurred. These experiments aimed to determine if individuals could accurately predict events before they occurred. The results of these studies were meticulously recorded and analyzed, contributing to a deeper understanding of the potential and limitations of human psychic abilities.
Wow. So there you have that video explaining very importantly what has happened and what the program was really trying to dive into, right? That's where you were having those issues. That's where you were coming up with what the topics were. Well, during this procedure, during this time, several experiments have happened during that. I'm going to read a few of them, and I have one pretty unbelievable one. So one of the meetings that went on during this time was the Grill Flame meeting. I'm not even making that name up. That was the title of the declassified document. This was October 30th of 79. And the main purpose of this was to discuss the direction and classification of the project, specifically whether it should be an R&D or intelligence. There's both pros and cons for each. If you were to go under the intelligence route, you would have a lot more security. I mean, these documents they're going to get released at any time, but they wanted to keep everything under wrap. The attendees for the classification, the potential difficulties in keeping the project quiet, the need for a committee report was the guide for their next steps. So the main interest of this meeting was we need to classify this. Are we going to go for more funding or are we going to go for more secrecy? That was the difference between R&D and also intelligence. There was secrecy concerns, and there were concerns about the difficulty of keeping the project quiet long enough to achieve meaningful results, given the potential for public and political scrutiny. And high-level interest. Congressman Rose, who was one of the active members of this project going forward, he had discussed the project with the president, indicating high-level interest and support for this program. Now, in 79, there's about to be a change. Reagan was coming in and Carter was leaving. So it's unclear who really got that, who really was the president at that time. Do they mean the incoming one or did they mean the one that's actually sitting? There was a precognition called visages. And the point of this was to see if these individuals could recognize a random face on a computer, given just what the giving just like I don't know, like hairstyles. Do they have a mustache? Their nose size. I'm going to add this to the screen right here. As you can see, this is what they would give the psychics. They would be like, all right, is their head shape A1 to A4, B1 to B4, C1 to C4, D1 to D4. Then it would be like, what are the lip styles there? And then what you would get ultimately at the end was, putting all of them together like this. So when you have that and you're talking about that, it was to see, okay, the computer's going to make a face. I want you to try to, you know, recognize what the face is and say what you think it's going to be. Interestingly enough, the subjects that were used in this were 19 to 59, 40 subjects, men and women. However, there were 35 females and only 5 males. And they found that they could accurately predict this on a scale of 78%, which is fascinating. The final one is the one that I have here that I'm going to play for everybody. It is a Mars exploration in May 22, 1984. This is a remote viewing session between one of the Stanford physicists and a remote viewer, and he's just giving them coordinates on Mars, 1,000,000 BC, to see what's going on. Is there anything alive on the planet? And the results are shocking. And I'm going to play that for you right now.
All right, now, using the information in the envelope I've provided, exclusively focusing your attention now, using the information in the envelope, focus on 40.89 degrees north, 9.55 degrees west.
I want to say it looks like, I don't know, it sort of looks like, I kind of got an oblique view of a pyramid or pyramid form. It's very high. It's kind of sitting in a large depressed area.
All right.
It's yellowish, ochre colored.
All right. Move in time to the time indicated in the envelope. Describe what's happening.
I'm tracking severe clouds, more like a dust storm. A geological problem. It seems like just a minute. I've got to iron this out. It's really weird.
Just report your raw perceptions at this time. You're still early in the session.
I'm looking at after effect of a major geologic problem.
Okay, go back to the time before the geologic problem.
Total difference. It's before there's no I don't know. Oh hell! It's like mountains of dirt appear and then disappear when you go before. Large flat surfaces, very smooth angles, walls. They're really large though. I mean, they're megalithic.
All right. At this period in time now, before the geologic activity, look around in and around this area and see if you can find any activity.
I'm seeing, it's like a perception of a shadow of people. Very tall, thin. It's only a shadow, as if they were there and they're not. Not there anymore.
Go back to a period of time where they are there.
It's like I get a lot of static on the line and everything. It's breaking up all the time, very fragmentary pieces.
Just report the raw data. Don't try to put things together, just report the raw data.
I keep seeing very large people. They appear thin and tall, and they're very large. And wearing some kind of strange clothes.
Alright, now holding in this time period, I want you to move from your physical location in space to another physical location, but in this time period. Move now to 46.45 north, 353.22 east. Move in this time to 46.45 north, 353.22 east.
Deep inside a cavern, not a cavern, more like a canyon. I'm looking up the sides of a steep wall that seemed to go on forever. And there's like a structure with it. It's like the wall of the canyon itself has been carved. Again, I'm getting very large structures, no intricacies, huge sections of smooth stone.
Do the structures have insides and outsides?
Yes, they're very... It's like a rabbit warren. Corners of the rooms, they're very huge. I don't feel like I'm standing in one that's really huge. Perception is that ceiling walls are very wide.
Yes, that would be correct. Alright, I'd like you to move now to another location nearby. Alright, move from this point in time to 45.86 degrees north, 354.1 degrees east. 45.86 north, 354.1 east.
They have appears to be the end of a very large road. There's a marker thing that's very large. Keep getting Washington Monument overlay. It's like an obelisk.
Alright. From this point then, let us move to another point. Move now to 36.26 degrees north, 213.24 degrees east. Move in this time to 35.26 north, 213.24 east.
It's like I'm in the middle of a huge circular basin of the range mountains almost all over. Very ragged mountains, very tall. Basins very, very, very large. Scale seems to be off or something. It's just really big. Everything's big.
I understand the problem, just continue.
See just a right angle corner to something, but that's all. I don't see anything else.
Okay then, let's move to a little different place, very close. Move from the point you are now to 34.6 degrees north, 213.09 degrees east. Move now in this time to 34.6 north, 213.09 east.
The cluster of squares up and down, it's like you want to make them square away. They're almost flush with the ground, and it's like they're connected. Something very white or reflects light.
What's your position of observation as you look at this thing that reflects light?
I'm amid oblique left angle. Sun is weird.
Move close to one of them and ask them to tell you about themselves.
They're ancient people. They're dying. It's past their time or age.
Tell me about this.
They're very philosophic about it. They're looking for a way to survive, and they just can't. Can't seem to get out of their own way. Can't seem to find their way. So they're hanging on while they look or wait for something to return, or something coming with the answer.
What is it? What are they waiting for?
They're evidently a group or a party of them that went to find a new place to live. It's like I'm getting all kinds of overwhelming input of the corruption of their environment. It's failing very rapidly. And this group went somewhere, like a long way, to find another place to live.
What was the cause of the atmospheric disturbance or the environmental disturbance?
I see a picture of oh hell, it's almost a wrap in a, oh god, this is difficult. It's like going, let's see.
Raw data?
Oh, I get a globe. It's like a globe that goes through a comet's tail. It's through a river of something. It's all very cosmic. It's like space pictures.
Alright. Now before you leave this individual, ask him if he knows, and is there any way you can help him in his present predicament?
All I get is that they must just wait. Doesn't know who I am, thinks he perceives I'm a hallucination or something.
Okay. When the others left, these people are waiting. When the others left, how did they go?
I get the impression of don't know what the hell it is, but it looks like the inside of a larger boat. Very rounded ball, shiny metal.
Go along with them on their journey and find out where it is they go.
Impression of a really crazy place with volcanoes and gas pockets. A strange plants. Very volatile place. It's much like going from the frying pan into a fire. Difference is there seems to have a lot of vegetation where the other place did not have any, and different kind of storms.
Alright, it's time to come back now to the sound of my voice, in present time, to right now, 22nd of May, 1984. The sound of my voice. Move back into the room, back to the sound of my voice. Back further now to the sound of my voice on the 22nd of May, 1984.
So there you have it, everybody. That was the interview that I wanted to play for everybody. Fascinating stuff, wild stuff, really. One of the things, and I don't know if anybody has caught this on there or not, well, one of the things is when they were asking the remote viewing subject, right? When they were asking them, what do you see here? What do you do? One of the answers that the interviewer gave was correct. He said correct. How did they know? How does the CIA interviewer know what is correct and what's not? I found that to be completely amazing. So let's break down a little bit of what they said. There was an environmental problem, an environmental catastrophe. The environment was harsh with storms and a lack of vegetation. Now, if you imagine different civilizations around the universe, you probably do have to eat. You have to maintain your home world, your area to have a colony. So if there's nothing that can grow on Mars afterwards, of course they're looking to get out. Kind of similar to Interstellar, if you think about it. For all those who have seen the movie Interstellar, they wanted to get off Earth because there was huge dust storms all over the country and nothing really could grow anymore. Sounds a little bit about what was going on here. There was a mention of underground shelters or structures. One of the byproducts of vegetation is not just that you eat it, but how it interacts with your environment could cause, geological changes, atmospheric changes, and it appears that it got too ugly for them to even live on or live at, on Mars anymore. So maybe that did have to force them underground. Similarly to in folklore, the Hopi Indians, they have stories of ant people. Now, it's not people that look like ants or anything like that, but they called them ant people because they dwelled into the ground. They lived under us. They live under us in caves, cavern systems, and periodically come out to help humanity because how their species is, they can't live on the surface anymore. Who's to say that not all these or some of these things aren't rooted in actual fact and truth and and how we get our myths and our lores? Um, then the hopeful part for this civilization was that they found a home planet. They found another home planet. Interestingly enough, as the interviewer said, it wasn't Earth. It was another distant planet. Lush vegetation, able to create a habitat that's survivable for the colonies there. We if we were to take this as true, if we were to take this as something factual, you're going to have both sides, right? You're going to have both sides. You're going to have people that say, look, we need to prepare for the future. We need to prepare that for our Earth, our habitat, our whatever, and make changes so we don't end up like these people. The other side is going to disregard every single thing of this story and say, how do we know she wasn't dreaming? How do we know she's just not making it up? How do we know that this individual, just wants their 15 minutes of fame or whatever back in 1984? Unfortunately, we don't know, and we're not going to know, until we pass on. Then maybe we learn all of the answers, but we're not going to know that now. This civilization, now they would need more resources. If you recall in the early part of the interview, they were saying they were gigantic, 12, 15 feet tall. A lot of stories of early humanoids being that tall as well. Nephilim, right? Fallen angels, things like that. Who's to say they're not holy and just actually aliens from another planet that helped us, bridge the gap in evolution, if you were to believe that. Very interesting. This is something that this FOIA document, anybody can go look up and read. It's a CIA on a CIA heading, declassified document that up until the year 2000 was classified and nobody could look at it. There's a ton of these documents on FOIA, CIA's website, that you can FOIA. If you're very good with AI, right? ChatGPT, any of those models, Copilot for, was it Microsoft? If you're good with any of those things, have that do the work for you. Hop on and say, look up, why don't you find me declassified documents on aliens? And it'll pop you out a list, and you can just download the PDF right to your computer and take a look and read it. Many of these are redacted. Many of these have areas that are redacted, but a lot of them are full. Use your American right, people. You're Americans. I wholeheartedly believe all of you. You use your American right to research and find what people have been hiding from you, especially in the government. I'm not talking party. I'm not talking side, because I believe the CIA, they're not the government. I don't believe they have the best interest of you in mind. I believe they're spying on all of us. Use your American right to read about some of the stuff they have going on. And as me, for Beyond the Radar, I'm going to keep bringing it to you every Friday night. Tune in. Let's get weird. Let's get skeptical. Let's all talk about that stuff. Thank you so much, everybody, for a wonderful episode. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to read and to listen and tune in. You can find this episode on Spreaker if you want to catch the whole thing. If you want to catch the interviews again, please reach out to me. I'll send you just that clip, just that copy. Anything you want, anything you need. I appreciate it. Until next time, everybody, stay weird, stay cool, and everybody, have a good weekend. Go Birds and all that stuff. Have a good night, everyone.